thank you very much, Dr. Amanda, for being here and having a conversation with me. Really appreciate it.
Thanks, Dan.
Yeah. So, icebreaker question for you. What is a type of food that you really don't care for that a lot of other people like? Do you have it?
I'm on the spot for that one.
I know, a little bit on the spot.
I don't know, I like all food, so it's really
That's
hard
good.
to say that.
What's the craziest food you've ever tried? Craziest to you?
Probably craziest is probably octopus. Like raw octopus.
Raw?
Like little baby ones.
Okay, probably not raw though.
No, they are raw.
Really?
They're in a seafood medley of some sort with some seasonings to them, but they're raw.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow,
I worked in a meat department and seafood department, so that was probably the craziest thing I've eaten so far.
I've eaten a lot of crazy things. I've never had raw octopus.
Yeah.
That's cool. How was it?
Really chewy.
They're chewy sometimes if you don't cook them right, and I could imagine very much chewy if they're not cooked. Yeah. Oh, cool. Well, thank you.
Baby ones.
So, can you tell us your vision for your patients here at Back in Motion Chiropractor and in the community?
Sure. So I've been a chiropractor now for about 10 years, homegrown in Kingsville, and just always have been really involved with the community and helping other small businesses and anybody basically. So my vision for our office and for what we do here is to help everybody that I possibly can, either physically with chiropractic, emotional support, or if it's just helping someone doing projects that would then open up other doors for them and stuff like that. We've had a couple different groups in our clinic that didn't necessarily follow the chiropractic or wellness kind of paradigm, but we've just opened up our doors to allow anybody to kind of try their business out.
Oh, that's neat.
Yeah.
Like in the facility here, or? Oh, that's really cool.
Yeah.
You did mention helping people out emotionally. Like, is that kind of listening to them as you're adjusting, or how does that go?
For sure. So, I mean, our job is physical, but it also is a relationship that we build with our clients and our patients. Someone who comes in here, it's not just a number to me. It's a friend, a family, someone who needs to have a talk. I'm always there for them, and it might be something that is more casual and getting to know each other, but it might be behind the door, closed doors kind of thing, and a little bit more in-depth personal thing, but I've always been welcome to talk to people to help them out with whatever they need.
That's awesome. Thanks. Now, do you have anything going on right now in the community that you'd like to share?
Well, I'm really involved with the community. I also have a second job where I work for the Jack Miner Migratory Bird Foundation. Awesome. I was an employee many moons ago, and then came back as a board member and volunteer, and then I now sit as their executive director for the meantime to help out with their projects and stuff like that. I'm also on the BIA board, and I run the Kilt Run, and you name it, there's a lot of different things that I'm involved in. But the thing that we have going on with Jack Miners right now is we're going to open streets, and we have like the Migration Festival and Country Christmas that will be coming up in the near future. So
awesome.
A lot of community events.
Great, thank you so much. I know I love going to Jack Miner with my girls. They really enjoy it there. Thank you. Question, do you see in your patients that may have lost a loved one or that are grieving in some way, do you see that as a chiropractor it can affect the physical body?
For sure. So what we call in the chiropractic realm a subluxation, which means a misalignment of a bone or whatnot. The theory behind that is that it can be physical, emotional, or chemical stressors on the body. So emotional, mental, it could be the loss of a loved one, it could just be daily stresses and anxiety that people are experiencing in this day and age. I mean, going through what we've just been through in the last year and a half with COVID, I've seen a lot more stresses on the body now than I've ever had before. So definitely any emotional stuff that someone's going through, you can feel it through their bodies.
That's interesting. That's really interesting that our emotions, which don't seem to be connected to our physical body, can have such a dramatic impact on our physical body and manifest out in our bodies, right? So then you can come along and help people along. That's really cool. Thank you. The other question I have is, have you ever experienced, had a personal experience with death that has affected your perspective in life?
Well, I'm relatively young. I haven't had a ton of people that have passed. Most of them have been a little bit older, or there's been some illnesses and stuff like that. So yes, of course, those are always going to affect me. The ones that have affected me the most, though, are ones that have been due to mental illness. I lost a cousin last year. I've lost a couple friends over the past year because of some mental illness issues.
Sorry to hear that. That's awful.
You.
Yeah.
But that's kind of been like the ones that have really got me. The ones that were people that you thought you should have seen it coming or been able to help, but you know, our diseases are not always apparent. Some things can take effect on someone that extreme that they can't deal with it. So those have been the top ones.
Yeah, that's really tragic, and it's really hard to go through. Has it altered your perspective when it comes to life at all, or is just kind of still probably still processing a lot of what you're going through, I'd imagine?
Still processing, but I think you try to grow as an individual to hopefully see that person in need. And that's why I think my role as a chiropractor is so important to this community, is that, yes, I come and we work on things that are painful or some injuries and stuff like that. And we work through that stuff. But I've always felt that I can do more and I can help out with more issues that people might be experiencing. And I'm hoping to be able to learn how to see these people that might be struggling and to give them another ear to talk to and you know, change their perspective.
Yeah, wow, that's powerful. Yeah, thank you. I feel like I want to dive into that more, but that's really deep, and just being able to have that perspective to look to help others who you might not even know that are in a hard time. That's quite the calling, and I think that's a perspective that we all can take into our daily lives, and to look out for, maybe see someone who is hurting and to see if we can help them. I mean, we won't be able to know everything or help everybody, but if we can help somebody, that's powerful. Yeah, that's good. Now, do you have any particular song that might pop up on the radio, or maybe a smell or a sight that kind of brings you back to a time with an experience that you've had with death?
The one that gets me on a more regular basis, which you don't hear on the radio as much, is there was a song played by, I believe it was the Cranberries, and this would have been back when I was in high school, but I know that I've heard it numerous times throughout my life, that it brings me back to a cousin that had passed. I was quite young when he passed, and unfortunately it was a car accident that took his life, but that song always just reminds me of him, and I don't remember much else from him or his family, but that's one powerful thing that I do kind of recognize, and I know where it came from, but
right.
That's been the biggest one that I could say.
Well, enough of me asking you questions. Now's your chance to ask me as a funeral director anything.
So I've always been curious to know, like, what would be a strange occurrence with your job, or have you seen anything that was a little bit surprising in your career?
Yeah, lots of surprising things. Strange. So something that comes to my memory is when I was fresh into the industry, and I didn't have any experience in funeral homes before I got into the industry. I might have gone to a visitation or a funeral, but when I first started working in the funeral home, I was tasked with rolling somebody onto their side so that we could I think it was, we were cleaning their back. So you just, like a paramedic or a nurse would roll somebody, that's the same way we do it. So I was learning, and I would take their knee gently and their shoulder, and I got nice and close, and I rolled the person towards me. This gentleman's face was right next to my ear, and he expelled some gas that was in his chest, and it was just like, right in my ear, and that gave me goosebumps. That was very strange to me. I didn't really realize, it took me a second, and then I realized, okay, this is just the built up gas that's still inside of him. But that was strange, and that can happen unannounced in our industry. So yeah, good question.
Interesting.
Yeah. Well, thank you very much for spending this time and having this conversation with me. It meant a lot to me, and I know to everyone else who's listening. So thank you.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, and also thank you to Red Lantern, who provided this great coffee for us today. They're just in Kingsville now. Have a great small business there too. So thanks a lot.